Have you ever had a really good night's sleep and you had an answer the next day? Talk a little about sleep and hypnosis. I know a lot of you are hypnotists already, but we're going to do a short review. We're going to talk about brain wave reminder to our conscious mind. We're going to establish a state of calm, centered presence. I was putting material together for this, you guys. It was so funny because I was making some recordings, which are in your, the pattern is in your playbook. But I kept falling asleep when I was recording, and I just couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, okay, Erika, you've really achieved a new level of calm. That is fantastic. Now let's see. So now I'm actually working on how can I, and this is a really good one, you guys. So for those of you who are professional hypnotists, you're probably thinking this too. How can I get in a very relaxed state and still remain conscious? Okay. Because, and the reason I'm telling you this is every time my body starts to get into a relaxed state, my mind thinks it's time for bed and it's time to sleep. Okay. So I guess that's a good problem to have. All right. But today I want to help you establish a state of calm, centered presence. My wish for you is that you have an idea in your mind that every time you think about it, you can't help but feel calmer. You can't help but feel more relaxed and more centered. And this just proves to you how powerful you are. This is something that you can work on. This is what I like to do with my heart space, my heart center. I like to imagine that as I'm dropping into my heart space, it is familiar. It's where the eternal part of me resides. It's loving. And so whenever I think about it, I automatically feel more relaxed. Okay. So we've got like the idea of the melted wax, and then maybe the idea of your heart center. But the idea is to establish this calm and centered presence, because good sleep doesn't start at nighttime. It starts during the day, right? And so when we can not allow ourselves, or if we are getting anxious during the day, if we can release it, okay, and bring ourselves back to ourselves, basically, that means at the end of the day, it's easy for us to go there, okay? We are going to reveal and clear emotional blockers to consistent restorative sleep. We all have them. You probably have some limiting, you probably have some negative self-talk, and there's probably some limiting beliefs about sleep too. Right? That will be good to just, is that really true for me anymore? Okay. One thing that I really want you guys to notice is, how would you know if you're sleeping well? How do you feel in the morning? The reason I mention this is a lot of my clients have no idea what good sleep is supposed to be like. They'll just tell me how many hours they're getting. They don't know that the design is intended to be restorative, and you pop out of bed excited and looking forward to your day, right? We're going to upgrade self-talk, visualization, and future programming, and develop a sleep master blueprint, something that you will probably work on and modify over time until it's just right. So it's hands-on, hearts-on for real-world application. Did you know, this really surprised me, more than 50 million Americans suffer from 80 different sleep disorders. So what is the problem with sleep? There's a lot of problems. I want you guys to identify for yourself what's going on. There's medications, right? People got to get up in the middle of the night. They need to take medications. There are medications that keep them from sleep, medications that I was on medication that, as a result of breast cancer, I was on tamoxifen. Tamoxifen gave me symptoms of menopause, and I had night sweats for a year. That kept me up, for sure. Some people have pain in their body, and that's what's hard to get the mind to rest if they're at pain. It's totally doable, though. Totally doable with hypnosis and focus. It's not always easy, but absolutely can be done. There's a lot of issues with the mind, right? I was really surprised because I think 80% of you reported that you didn't have a problem falling asleep. Or I think maybe 100% reported the main problem was just waking up, okay? Was waking up later. So I want to ask you, And this is time for a good discussion. What's happening when you wake up? What are you thinking about? Because there's a couple of things that could be happening here. One of the things that happens that we want to avoid is called the worst case scenario issue. You guys might be familiar with this game that our conscious mind loves to play. Now, the worst case scenario game is usually happens when we are, the brain. It's usually our smart clients, right? We have big brains, and the brain is a problem solver. And so we wake up in the middle of the night, it's quiet, and the brain is going to try and solve problems for you, okay? Other times we might wake up and there might be something more kind of spiritual happening, right?
Occasionally it's the future, but mostly it's the past.
Yeah. So what do, right? We wake up in the middle of the night, and this has happened to me before where it's the same scenario. It's the exact same one that my brain just won't let go of. So it's like this, I'm playing the same, and I would have said it this way. And it's me saying it. It's like a record player over and over and over. I would use a thought stopping technique with that. We would probably do age regression and find out maybe if there's something going on under the covers there, right? And see really what's happening with our line of thinking. The good news is that there's a lot of cleanup that we're going to learn today with our brain hacks. We're going to move into in a little bit that I consider like cleaning up your room, right? The way that I think about a lot of things we do as hypnotists is we're in kindergarten. I think we should have learned this stuff at that age, but we didn't. And so now we're beginners learning how the mind actually works and learning how a lot of these things actually work, right? So let's be kind to ourselves about what's really happening, right? And that's what I would say. We do need to do some internal work on that, because I would make an argument for your conscious mind that it's actually better for you to start your day with you, meaning not your phones. So you're going to start your day, let's say you use the restroom. We usually, most of us have to use the restroom when we first get up. But after that, you're going to do the alpha sequence, or you're going to do self-hypnosis, or you're going to do something that brings you back to you for the first 5 minutes of your day. That you're happy to be alive. Maybe your family is there. Maybe your partner's there, and you're grateful to just be there. And then you're going to open up your phone. That's one change that I would want you to make, because now you're prioritizing yourself. You're not taking that away. You still know that that's important, but you're starting with you. Okay? And that shift can go a long way in our mind and in our heart, right? One of the other things that really works for me that we'll get to, I hope that you guys get to too, it's a real understanding that sleep really serves us. Have you ever had a really good night's sleep and you had an answer the next day? When we sleep, and if we allow ourselves to sleep, right, the brain is going to do all of that processing. And we're going to wake up in the morning usually with an answer, right? And so if we can really lean into our ability to source information as high performers, sleep is a high performance skill. Get the book, Start Hypnotizing. Get the book and first hypnosis lesson free now at CanYouBeAHypnotist.com.